So we'll be talking Flutter today. Hope how many of you know have used Cloud Firestore in your some of the project, right? Have you ever heard about this ODM thing? No, right? New topic, right? Cool. So my entire slide is not 18 plus. So yeah, you can definitely watch it. You know, like by opening your eyes fully. Yeah. So to the guys who is not joining my session, from all two gates, maybe it's time to come and maybe try to explore some new things over here, where I'll be speaking about Flutter Firestore and the ODM package or ODM thing, which helps you to create a type-safe applications using Firestores. So first of all, what is ODM? It's a I'll just like what we used to learn in a school, like जब हम स्कूल में होते थे तो कोई अगर पूछता है कि ओडीएम क्या है तो हम क्या बोलते हैं कि फुल फॉर्म बता दो, सिंपल है, राइट? सो इट्स अ ऑब्जेक्ट डॉक्यूमेंट मैपर. As the name suggests, in every in Flutter or let's say Dart, everything is yeah. So when you're working with the object, like uh, and especially in Firestore, you have to create a model and we have to create a reference for the same. Oftentimes you know maybe by mistake must be using or parsing some other object or a collection reference from the Firestore. It must have happened with so many folks. You must have copy pasted a code from some other file. It might contain some other reference, and it does not have a proper object what to follow. Maybe it was uh, it is for the, let's say, a Facebook post, or a like the Gmail post, Gmail thing. It contains a model for a Gmail listing, but you might be getting trying to parse a model from a let's say a detail part. So it might not work properly at that time, and you sometimes the that a one typo you might have used user as a reference, and in your code you might be writing users with a s, and it's just a simple typo. You won't be able to identify what you are working with, and it's really tough to identify that particular error as well at that time. So over that time, ODM package which we are going to see will help you a lot. So it comes up with the few functionalities, and what it does, you know, it all helps us to parse the data in a bidirectional with a bidirectional validations. What I mean by bidirectional, for example, if you are passing a data, for example, if you are filling up one form and it requires an email, and you have to send that email in a particular validation format, right? Blah blah @gmail.com or something else, right? You have to have that validation when you're sending a data, but at the time of getting that data as well, using a yeah, using a Cloud Firestore ODM as well. When you get the data, the ODM always checks that you have a proper type. It has a proper validation, so you don't get the another type of data. You are always going to get the particular email address, blah blah @gmail.com, and nothing else, and not a phone number or nothing else. So that's the responsibility of Flutter ODM package that we are going to see. Then type-safe data querying. So when you are, uh, you might have missed the a generic Firestore implementation. You might have seen, okay, yeah, you might have made a mistake and you might be querying some other collection reference. But over here, it will not happen. You'll write whatever you're going to create a model. We'll see it later, but you're going to create a model, and that using that model only you're going to get all the queries, to, get queries, or where type queries, and all the type of queries which Firestore has. It will be pre-built. You don't have to write a single code for the same. It will be pre-built when you create your model, and it will be linked with, and whatever model you are going to create, it will be your type. So you are going to create a model called user or something else. it will be your type. Let's say user is your type. So you're going to get all the queries for the user type only. Then Flutter widget. As you all know, everything in Flutter is a widget, right? So there is a widget called five store builder. Same as future builder, you all must have used it in your initial days. Might be using it right now as well, right? Future builder, same as future builder. There is a Firestore builder. So whenever your data is updating in a real time, it will get reflected in your UI as well. You don't have to do anything extra. You don't have to call any state, set state, or maybe don't use any state management technique as well. It depends, how you are managing your stores or logic. That's totally depends upon you, how you write your code. But yeah, you don't have to write any extra logic. Just use that Firestore builder and you're good to go. And at the end, data selectors to help avoid unnecessary widget rebuilds. So it will also check that you are not, unnecessarily calling a build method again and again. We have seen, okay, Flutter performance is really needed when we are working with. We don't have to, call widget build method again and again. We have to like calling a session again and again. We'll call the particular build method or particular widget. If you are using it in a entire screen, will be going to refresh entire screen or particular widget, right? That will not happen over here. It will only refresh when the data is updated and not again and again. So that's one more feature it provides. So let's see what we are going to do today and what we are going to build today. So I'll be doing not the exact live demonstration or live coding thing, but yeah, there will be a demo which you will be able to take a look at it on your hands, which is totally built using Flutter, as Flutter works on all their platforms, right? And you will be able to experience it. So this is what we are going to build. It has a feedback thing. It's again a feedback form only. It contains, a slider. You can just slide through it and give a rating to my session at the end. Hoping for a nice 5-star ratings, obviously. And when you click on that particular, on the top right corner, there is an icon. When you click on that icon, you'll be, seeing a list of entries, like whatever rating you are giving, you will be seeing it real time. What I mean by real time is, you guys are going to, vote it right now at the end of my session, obviously, and it will increase the, list automatically. There is no such coding or, I haven't did, any stream listener or something else. It's just all Firestore builder. So let's see the installation first. So obviously we have to do we have to, go through a first part of the thing to get started with the Firestore ODM. We have to have, live latest Flutter, sorry, Dart SDK in your PubSpec YAML file. Then in the dependency sections, you have to add a Firebase core, which is, if you have used, Firebase, you have to add that Firebase core to, get the core dependency of the Firebase. Then Cloud Firestore ODM. So over here, instead of just Cloud Firestore, I'm using a package called Cloud Firestore ODM. And then inside the dev dependencies, there is a build runner. I've mentioned about, in few lines that it is going to generate a code for you. But how? We are going to use a build runner. If you haven't used a build runner, maybe this talk is not for you. Sorry for that. But yeah, if you are a Flutter dev, you might be liking a build runner. There is that set of users as well, and sorry, developers, and there is a set of users or developers who does not like it at all, the build runner. So we are going to use a build runner and a Cloud Firestore ODM generator, which is actually going to generate a code for you, which you don't have to write. All the queries, it will be generated by using a Cloud Firestore ODM generator. And for the initialization, what we do in a main thing, right? We have to write down Firebase initialize app and write down the options. What is it will take a current platform. It can be iOS, Android, or web as well. I'm taking a current platform, so whatever platform it is I'm running on. What demo you are going to see is a Flutter web demo. So it will take the platform as a Flutter web demo, Flutter web, right? So that will be the case over here for me, for us. So that initialization I did using a file-based CLI, which is specifically for the Flutter. So you don't have to go through all the manual process of maybe 15, 20 steps of initializing Firebase in your Flutter application. Just run the two-line command, and you're good to go. That's another topic we can discuss in detail maybe some other day. Then defining models. Over here, I'm defining a model called feedback. It has one, you have seen the UI, right? It was a feedback screen. It contains a rating. So over here, I'm creating a one integer over here, rate. And over here, if you have created any JSON serializable model in your Flutter application, I hope you should have, right? And not copy pasting the code from the like like a which is just parse a JSON for you. If when you copy paste a JSON and creates a DAO class for you. So hope that's not the case. And using this, you'll be able to limit your boilerplate code a lot. So over here, I'm creating a factory from JSON file, so it will help me to get the data into a map format using from a JSON. Then to JSON, if I want to convert the data again from map or Dart object to JSON, if I want to send it back. Then over here, I'm using a JSON serializable explicit JSON true, which will help me to create a JSON file later on if I want to, and create a field map. Create a field map as in when you're working with Dart over here as well. Uh, we have a feedback as a class, and it contains a integer rate. So it will map it with our class. It will make it part of our object. So Firebase, Firestore, that particular package will understand it. Okay, how to create a query for that integer rate as well. So you will be able to do anything extra without adding writing any manual code. So how, obviously, in all everything in a Firestore, if we talk, it will start with a reference. So we are going to create a, let's talk a database, and it will have a tables over here. Instead of tables, it will be a reference. What will be the reference? We have a screen called feedback. We'll name it probably as a feedback. So over here, I'm using an annotation called collection. Sorry for the typo. There is a user, but yeah, we'll be creating a reference called feedback. That's what the name I've named it in a Firestore console. And below that, I have a line called feedback reference, feedback collection reference, and then you have to run a build runner. Okay, sorry, it is skipping a file. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, so you have to run a build runner. For that, you have to add part.g.dart file, which will help you to generate. This is the file where your all the boilerplate code, which you don't have to manipulate, will be created over here. How it will be created? So you have to run the command flutter pub run build and a build. There is a one more command. This one is a deprecated. You can use dart pub run dart run build runner as well now onwards. You don't have to define delete conflicting outputs as well now onwards. Just run a dart run build runner and you're good to go. So over here I'll be using a flutter pub run build runner build. So it is going to create all the queries for me. I'm not writing anything extra over here. I haven't defined any queries over here. Not a get call, not a where call, anything else. Add call as well, nothing else. If you want to, continuously build your, ob- obviously when you work with a particular project, you have to run your, you are continuously working, so you have to run your build runner again and again. So instead of build, you will be using a watch. So it will, obviously, I'll not suggest it to you. Use it if you are not using a probably a high level, a system, maybe a Mac M1 or so, as it will heavily affect your, system performance, and you won't be able to, code it as efficiently as possible. So try to avoid it, but yeah, if you have a high-end system, go for it. It won't create a much issues, but it will generate a call while you are writing your particular class file. In our case, feedback. And then how to use that reference. So over here we have created a feedback reference. That feedback reference we are going to use in the Firestore builder. I've told you about this Firestore builder, same as a future builder that we have in a Flutters. So that Firestore builder we are going to use. Inside that we are going to pass that reference over here, and then it will have an item builder like a thing. like any builder if you worked upon, like list view builder, right? Where you can over here we have a context, snapshot, and a child. We are going to use a snapshot out of it. So when you parse data from a Firestore, you're going to get the snapshot. If and you can identify if snapshot has a data or not, if snapshot has an error or not, and if it has a data, pass the data and so on. So what you normally do, you're going to get the snapshot. You're going to check, okay, if this is the you're going to do, okay, user dot or feedback dot from JSON, pass that data inside that particular model, and then store it in your particular model DAO class, right? And in your logic class at the end. Okay, that's what we are not going to do over here. Over here, that will contain, so my class is a feedback class, so that is hardbound to my query over here as well. So that's where type shape comes in a picture. It is specifically for the feedback type only. So whatever I'm passing in a feedback, what it has in a feedback rating, right? So it will only get the rating for me, nothing else. So over here, I'm going to get the query snapshot, which if it has a data, then going to list it in a list view builder over here. So you must have seen a screen, like there is a screen where it has a list of data with names as FlutterConf India, right? And the date parameter. So I'm over here checking for a snapshot length, if the length is available, as we normally use the list view, right? Then we are going to use the query snapshot.docs index and the data. It will be automatically, see, I'm not using any from JSON to JSON or nothing like that. It is automatically parsed. We don't have to do anything extra over here. We just assign that data because it is a type shape. It is already a feedback type of data. So we are just going to assign it to a feedback instance and use it in a text. That's what I'm doing in that particular demo as well, right? Let's see some bit of more code as well. I'm not going to do a live coding, so yeah, we are good on that part. See, this is the thing we have worked, we have taken a look at it. First builder, I'm using it, then feedback reference. I'm checking for the, if it has an error or not, has a data or not, and if it has a data, if the data is not there, so loader. And at the end, okay, let's view that separator. I'm using a list view separator over here. Beside that, I have a feed screen. There is a div screen which contains the feedback option where you have to submit your feedback. So if you go to the particular button, this one is a page view. See over here, what I'm using is a feedback reference that I have created as per the slides as well. I've created a feedback reference, and I'm just writing a add method. I haven't defined it anywhere while writing a code. The build runner and the code generation from the Firestore helped me created it. So if you see, it is a part of the g.dart file. If you see over here, it's a generated code and do not modify by hand. It is all generated. It contains add query, where query as well, field path, document ID, whatever you want. And I have extra parameters as well, right? I have a rating as well. If I want to get the data as a where rate, if I want to get the data as a 5-star rating only, I'll just choose a where rate method, which is auto-generated over here in a field screen, let's say. I'll just add where is, and we are good to go. Did I wrote this method at all? No, right? That's the magic of FlutterFire ODM. So you don't have to do anything extra. So that's how FlutterFire ODM works. Let's jump back to the slides again. So what I've showed the screenshot over here, you can scan this QR code and experience it in live. It's totally built using Flutter Firebase and deployed using Flutter Firebase. Sorry, I mean Firebase deployed just for one single line. and it was deployed on my private domain name. So just scan this QR code, hoping for a 5-star ratings. I can see it live as well if you want me to, show it to you. Let's see if you guys are really voting or not. Yeah. Cool, yeah, this is the screen, we talked about. Let's see. I hope it works because like, in the morning it was showing a gray screen error. Okay, it's not working. Maybe an internet issue. Okay, I don't have internet connected. Sorry for that. Ooh, boo. And guess what? My mobile is not working as well. Why? But if you have a valid internet connection, that's what happened. It's working, right? Someone has just pointed it out. You are seeing a real-time data over there. So if you are guys are voting, I don't have internet connection. Else we could have seen it in a. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, you guys getting the data right? If you are voting, you won't be able to delete it. So I'll be definitely going to see it later on in my Firestore console. Sorry, Firebase console. So yeah, and I'll definitely share my insight on a Twitter. Then just one more thing, yeah. So this is a fairly new, topic being, worked upon by a Flutter team. Not the exact Flutter team, but yeah, Drody and all who used to work in a material library and all, and core team or core Flutter team member as well. They are working on this Flutter Firestore ODM package, and it's currently in alpha. Although it's very much stable if you are working in a limited sort of, if you are going to create a sample application or working on some not so complicated application, you will be able to use it really well. I have used it in one of the live projects as well. So, but it's still in alpha. You can see all the discussion over here. I'll share my slides later on so you can, take a look at it. And yeah, so that's my time. You can scan this QR code again and ping me on Twitter, Instagram, or and LinkedIn as well. I'm not on a Facebook, so you can ping me over there if you have any queries. Yeah, clap, 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 clap. If you have any questions, and if you still have any questions, I don't see any raising hands. But if you still have any questions, okay, just kidding. Again, just scan this QR code and do follow me. And I'll be happy to help you out for anything you are stuck upon, not just Firestore, Firebase, or Flutter, or anything in general as well in tech. Cool. Thank you so much. That's my time. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, all right. That was an amazing talk by Bhavik. A huge round of applause for Bhavik, everyone.